Hi everybody, I'm Jeff Hernandez with the Connie Colla Group in lovely Scottsdale, Arizona. And I'm so glad Christmas is over. Don't get me wrong, it was great. I had a wonderful time. I spent time with family and friends and ate way too much food and opened gifts and all that stuff. But man, it's exhausting. So I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. And I look forward to seeing you again next year. In the meantime, I've got a market wrap up for 2021. I'll discuss with you what the historical trends have been, where we are today, what the indicators are showing for future trends, and the direction of the real estate market in Maricopa County and the nation as well. We've got some things heading our way in 2022 that may affect the market, and I've got some information about that I want to share with you. So stay tuned. Now this segment's going to go a little bit longer than normal because I have lots of information to provide to you. I promise you that at the end of this video, you will be well informed, you'll know what happened in the market, and you'll know what's going to happen in 2022. So what I'll be covering in the video going forward is what's happened in the past, what's happening now, and what's predicted to happen in the future with respect to leading indicators and tailing indicators, such as the number of active listings on the market today, the number of pending listings, the ones that are under contract, the closed listings or sales historically, the number of days on market for a house that's currently on the market, what is the average, what's it been, and what is it now, as well as the list to price ratio, which is the ratio between the listing price and the sales price. And that ratio fluctuates depending on whether it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. We're in a seller's market, but that may be changing just a little bit, and I'll show you why. Come take a look. As you can see here from the active listing weekly counts, this is a comparison of years 2018 through 2021. 2018 had a much healthier active listing count at close to 16,000 toward the beginning of the year. Normally, a healthy market is about 18,000 to 24,000 active listings. Currently, we're at 5,226, which is well below where it should be for a healthy market. As I mentioned earlier, another indicator of the health of the market is the number of days a house stays on the market between the time it's listed on active and the time that it actually gets under contract or sold. As you can see from the graphic, if you look all the way over to the right, you'll see that the average days on market currently is at about 30 days. Cumulatively, so all houses, all price ranges, that's the average amount. If you go back to 2015, you can see 90 days was about the average back at that time. And 2015 was what was considered a healthier, more equal market for buyers and sellers alike. It was still on the seller side, but not quite as bad as it is now. Now, when people talk to me about, or they ask me questions rather about whether or not we're in a housing bubble, one of the indicators, again, is whether we have a significant number of foreclosures or notices of trustee sales before foreclosures. Right now, that number is significantly lower than it was in 2008 through 2012. As you can see from the graphic all the way to the left, starting in about 2009, which was the height of the foreclosure epidemic, foreclosure rates were significantly higher than they are right now. If you look all the way to the bottom right, the foreclosures are way down. Part of that is due to the pandemic and the feds putting a moratorium on foreclosures. They are up since July, but they are nowhere near what you can see even going back to 2019, which was, again, a low foreclosure rate and low rates of notices of trustee sale going out, which is when somebody is delinquent on payments. Another way that we measure the health of the market is to see if the amount of closings is increasing or decreasing, as well as the price to list ratio. In other words, is a house selling for the list price? Is it selling above list price or selling below? Take a look at the graphic. Starting in 2016 all the way till about 2020, the number of houses that sold above list price was about 20%. As we got into 2021, particularly beginning in the spring of 2021, that number jumped significantly, nearly 3 times to about 60%. It's slowing down just a little bit, which to me is an indicator that the market is cooling down just a little bit. Now, we'll know more about that in the spring of next year, but my sense is, based upon all other predicting indicators, the market is cooling down just a bit. And this next one is again, following up on what I mentioned a minute ago, the sale price to list price ratio is the ratio, again, that indicates how many houses are selling above versus below the list price. As you can see from the graphic, the current sale price to list price ratio is at about 100%, which is an average, meaning on average, people who list their homes for a certain amount are getting that price. There are some higher, there are some lower, but what's important to note about this graphic is the spike that shows from May of 2021, or January of 2021 really, into the spring and summer of 2021, and it starts to go down. It was at roughly 102%. So if you sold your house or you listed it for $1 million, you were on average selling it for about $1,020,000, which is pretty significant. Now that number is going down, and it meets the trend that we noted in the previous graphic. And again, we'll see what happens in the spring. I'll get back to you on that and let you know what the trends are indicating. So in summary, the market's still super hot. Relative to what a normal market would be, we're probably 3 to 4 times above where it should be to create some equilibrium. There are some trends indicating that the market is cooling down a little bit. For the month of December, annual appreciation is at 25.5% year over year. That's down from 39% in June 2021. The median overlist price is $10,000. That's down from $20,000 in June of 2021. Days on market currently at about 10 days, which is up from 5 days in February of 2021, which was the beginning of the height of the frenzy for this year. It was just insane. So what's in store for 2022? Well, let me tell you the not so good news and the good news. The not so good news for 2022 is that affordability is lower than normal. It's at about 51% as of the third quarter in 2021. A normal rate would be at about 60 to 75%, meaning 60 to 75% of people can afford homes. Right now, it's at about 51%. Household formation is also diminishing, mainly due to affordability issues. Rental rates since December of 2020 are up 20%. Home prices are still increasing, but at a slower rate. The Federal Reserve is also expected to hike interest rates 3 times in 2022. Predictions are that the rates will rise to between 3.4% and 4% by the end of 2022. Now for some good news. Lending practices are loosening a bit. Recently, we heard about the conforming limits being raised across the board, across the country, in certain major metropolitan areas where affordability is an issue. That conforming limit has increased even more. So people can afford a conforming loan without paying extra points for a non-conforming loan. In addition, money is still relatively cheap. It's still hovering around 3%, some high 2s, low 3s. If it jumps up to 3.5% to 4%, that's going to have an effect on the market. Corporate profits are strong and the stock market continues to rise. In addition, we have a positive inbound flow into Maricopa County and Pinal County in particular. We have a lot of growth in the Santan Valley, Queen Creek area. It's explosive growth out there, as well as in Maryvale on the west side. City of Phoenix or Maricopa County rather, is slated to grow significantly over the next 5 years by about 500,000. W-2 income is up 4.9% over a year ago. In addition, more good news is that we've gotten back to the pre-pandemic employment levels. In fact, as anybody who drives around town will note, there are lots of jobs out there and not enough people to fill them. 2021 is predicted to overtake 2005 in the number of sales. That's incredible. And finally, we have nearly 86 million Gen Zers who were born between 2000 and 2020, right behind the largest current cohort of buyers, 82 million millennials born between 1992 and 1999. These Gen Zers and millennials will continue to buy homes over the next 20 to 30 years, and we need the supply. We need more supply. We need builders to step up and fill the need. If we can't fill the need, the rate of increase will continue. It may not be at the steep rate it is now, but it will likely continue. Well, folks, that's a wrap for the 2021 market summary and for my videos for the remainder of the year. I appreciate you spending time with me. I appreciate your patience with me doing these videos and learning how to do all this stuff. It's not my comfort zone, in case you hadn't noticed. Anyway, thank you again. Have a wonderful new year. And remember, at the Connie Colla Group at Launch Real Estate, we move you forward. That's what we do best. I'm Jeff Hernandez. Take care.